So another question too, going off of some things that you're talking about, where you were saying when we're reading about what I think you said Aquinas was talking about when referring to Aristotle, you were saying, well, we need to just go back to the earlier guys and see what they're reading and not read from people who are talking about them later on. Now, if somebody were to come up to you and say, well, that's the thing is because why should we care about what these early church fathers are saying when we already have the scriptures themselves? Shouldn't we just skip those guys and just go straight back to the source as well? And not worry so much on what the early church fathers saying, because that'd be similar to like,
Yeah,
reading later on.
I think that's exactly what an ordinary Christian should do. Scripture is clear enough on its own, and it doesn't really need any help from Origen and Tertullian and so on, much less Athanasius and Gregory of Nazianzus. But I'm a scholar, and it is very helpful to understand where Trinity and two natures theories come from, to watch them get slowly put
Mhm.
together over time and kind of evolve out of earlier views. And like I said, it does provide a very strong defeater for claims that this is just simply all obviously implied by Scripture. And remember, in the debate, just to kind of bring in a hostile witness, I spent some time quoting from this book by R.P.C. Hansen. This, I believe he was Anglican, Trinitarian, The Search for the Christian Doctrine of God. Like he thinks, the 381 Council, like thank goodness, like we finally like got our doctrine of God together because now we're finally like really Trinitarians. But he's a very good scholar, and he wrote the standard account of kind of how the whole Nicene controversy went down. And he says, to paraphrase, that they weren't defending some Trinitarian view that all Christians held. Like they are coming up with the Trinitarian view that mainstream Christians now hold. They're coming up with it bit by bit. They're constructing it. They're not defending something that was pre-existing. Um, I mean, like you can see that just by looking at the Nicene Creed, right? I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Yeah, that's what I believe. That's a Unitarian statement. The one God, the one creator is the Father. Now, I think in the 381 version, which is commonly called the Nicene Creed, arguably, I think it presupposes that the persons are one God because they share the same essence, but that can be disputed. It is disputed by some Orthodox people like Bo Branson and the Catholic Joshua Sijuwade. But I think when you read it in context of what was going on in the time with people like Gregory of Nyssa and Gregory of Nazianzus, I think, and people are running around talking about the triune God right after that. People like Augustine, he gets converted right after that. I think in
Mhm.
383 or 386, one of those. So Augustine talks about the one God as a triune God all the time. If you look earlier, that just simply never happens until Athanasius' late letters to Serapion. There's a couple probable instances of it there. You could maybe try to find it in Hilary, but I don't think it's actually there. It's very surprising, right? So what they're doing is they're changing the meaning of God, and they're changing the meaning of Trinity. So Trinity before, it just meant a triad. It's a grouping of three. It's
Mhm.
God, the Spirit of God, and the Logos of God, whatever that is. But so the one true God, that's the Father. He's a member of the group. He's not the whole group. That's the earlier use of Trinity that you see uh, from everybody until after really so right before the 381 Council, about 10 years before it, roughly, or a little bit more.